So the One Piece live action has taken the world by storm. Who would have thought? I always believed in it. Everybody was so skeptical and hesitant because of the history of live action anime adaptations. And understandably so. I'm gonna be honest, I was one of those people when I first heard about One Piece being made into live action, I was like, why? Who is asking for this? I'm definitely not asking for this. People I know are definitely not asking for this. So who is this being made for? Well, it turns out that not only was this being made by real fans, but they were putting in all of their effort, having Oda being heavily involved in order to ensure that this ends up being some sort of gift for the fans. Now the real question at hand is, did it deliver? Well, I'm here to give my thoughts on this whole thing as One Piece live action season 1 has finally come out. I saw all 8 episodes and there's definitely quite a bit to say. Now I'm gonna be dividing this review into 4 sections that I like to call the 4 Ps. The plot, the performances, the production, and the package. Pause. Now if I may interrupt this video real quick, just for a quick second, if you're enjoying this video so far, why not press the like button? It's free. Share it with a friend, leave a comment, help press that subscribe button, it's also free, and it would help a small YouTuber like me out. And thank you guys have been killing it. It's been my best month on YouTube so far. So let's start out with the plot. How faithful is it? How's the pacing? Does it capture the feel of One Piece? Well, I'm here to tell you that not only does this capture the feel of One Piece, mind you, with a lot better pacing than the manga, but it manages to mix things up just a little bit to where it still remains faithful, it still feels like One Piece, yet it still has something new to bring to the table. Fresh new ideas and smart writing choices that help move the story along much better in my opinion. Like taking out Don Krieg and replacing him with Arlong in the Baratier arc, I felt like helped develop the story much better and lead up to the finale. Yet it's not enough of a change where you would go and say that this is not One Piece. In my opinion, I'll even go as far as to say that this is my definitive version of the East Blue saga. Don't get me wrong, there are a few things here and there that I do prefer in the manga as opposed to the live action, but if I were to go and reconsume the East Blue saga, I would definitely go with the 8 episode streamlined experience of the Netflix show. And that's a huge compliment when compared to Oda's work. Now moving on over, the performances. Now let me go ahead and just say it right there. The Straw Hats were cast perfectly. I would not have picked any other actors to portray them. Luffy feels like Luffy, and that is an accomplishment in of itself. Zoro, I did hear the criticism that he's a little too serious for pre-time skip, is still a wonderful performance. Nami, of course, I have zero criticism. Sanji's performance I felt like was one of the better ones among the Straw Hats because you really felt like he put in the effort to embody the character. In fact, the actor himself learned how to cook and became a black belt for the role. Now that's true dedication. Last but not least, Usopp, I felt like he brought charisma into the character that was not there in the manga, which was much needed during the East Blue saga. I will say that I wish there was some sort of way they could have gave Usopp more material to work with, but that is not the actor's fault. In fact, East Blue did not give Usopp too much to work with in the first place. So that's not the fault of the actor at all. I thought he was great. Now regarding the Marines, Garp felt slightly different, although not different enough to where he was unrecognizable. I liked what the actor brought to the table, but I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of them revealing that he was Luffy's grandpa all the way in East Blue. That's just how I personally feel about it. Helmeppo's performance, 10 out of 10. The actor killed it. You really felt like you just wanted to hate him. He did a wonderful job. Kobe did a good job. You know, there's not much I could say about him, you know, like just Kobe was Kobe. Everybody in the Baratier was great. I recognized Zeph's actor who played Ghost in Call of Duty way back in the day. He did a wonderful job, especially during that flashback and whenever he was also interacting with Garp. Now that was an interaction I didn't know I wanted, and yet I thoroughly enjoyed. Mihawk's actor, 10 out of 10. No complaints. He literally is Mihawk. He is Mihawk. Every time he was on screen, he stole the show exactly as Mihawk would do, whether in the anime or the manga. They could not have done a better job when it comes to casting Mihawk. Hell, I know it's a small role, but even Genzo from Nami's village looked exactly like Genzo from the manga. The favorites that I had already mentioned were Luffy, Helmeppo, Mihawk, but last but not least, I would also like to give a special shout out to Buggy and Arlong. Like, oh my god, those two really stole the show. Anytime Buggy was on screen, it was the same as whenever Buggy is on screen in the anime. This guy killed it. You really felt like he put all of his energy, like he dedicated everything into playing Buggy. Now I have a little something to say about Arlong. Arlong is my favorite villain in all of One Piece, originally in the manga and the anime. And when I first saw Arlong in the trailer, I was like, what in the world is that? Like, Arlong looks disgusting in live action. Who thought it was a good idea to make him look like that? But when he first appeared on screen approaching the Baratier, I was like, oh, this guy. The actor killed it. The guy that played Arlong stole the show. Stole the show. Bar none, the best performance amongst all the actors. Just the little mannerisms that he would do whenever he would like do that little thing. Like you just like, bro, this guy, you know? Especially for Arlong, they could not have picked a better actor. Maybe they could have messed a little bit with the makeup and like his height, how large he is. But besides that, he was perfect. At least when it comes to performances. And one last thing that I really appreciated about live action One Piece is the fact that it really showcases the diversity in the world of One Piece. Like the casting of all the diverse characters, the different accents that each one brings to the table. I really appreciated that because it really feels like you're in the real world. You know, whenever you're walking around in the real world, there's people from all sorts of backgrounds, and whenever they're going around in the One Piece world, they're encountering people with all sorts of accents, all different backgrounds, and I really appreciated that. How Luffy's grandpa has an Irish accent when he himself has a Spanish accent. That is great. It shows that even if somebody is from a certain background, they could still have kids with people from other races. Even in the One Piece world. And One Piece has always been about diversity. Hell, look at Luffy's crew. There's people from all sorts of backgrounds. Now moving on over, the production. There's not much for me to say when it comes to the production. We all know how it is. The production, like just the set pieces alone, like my god, these look beautiful. The amount of money they must have spent on the production, I cannot even fathom. Like just the Baratie alone, the Mary alone. The one thing I would have changed about the Mary is maybe color in the eyes, but other than that, like my god, you could tell they really put in their all. They really loved the source material, and you could see it in all the little Easter eggs that they left around. Hell, they even left a Foxy bounty poster in episode 1. Now the visual effects, they're not 10 out of 10 or anything, but we know what to expect from a Netflix show, and even for a Netflix show, it is actually above average from other shows that I have seen. I'm genuinely surprised at how well they made the Gum Gum powers look, because elastic powers on a human being tend to look really bad in live action, and somehow they pulled it off. I don't know how. Although there might have been a scene or two that looked pretty bad, let's be honest, like the one where he was countering that cannon from Garp. Overall, the visual effects looked great. They really did a good job, and I felt like a lot of that was owed to the smart lighting choices that they made. And do I even need to say it? The costume choices, the designs, them taking costumes out of cover pages and color spreads in order to diversify what the cast was wearing. Little things like that are really appreciated, because in real life, someone's not gonna always wear the same outfit every single day, and it really shows that they thought about the little things when a lot of people wouldn't, further proving how much love they have for the source material. And as for the overall package, do I even need to say anything? This already got renewed for a season 2. I cannot even wait for them to make season 2. I don't want to wait a year or two. In fact, this show was so good that it even introduced my father, my middle-aged Middle Eastern father, into One Piece. A man whose only interests are politics. Somebody who sees anything that's animated as the equivalent of Tom and Jerry, basically, which is not entirely wrong with how One Piece is going right now. Never in a million years would I have thought that he would have been enjoying this, but this show definitely exceeded my expectations by a lot, by quite a bit really, and I'm so happy to have this. I'm really happy to have this. I will say that I'm very scared as to how they're gonna approach Tony Chopper for season 2, but they have proven themselves, and I think that I will trust their judgment on this. Overall, for One Piece live action, I'd give this a solid B+, and I very highly recommend watching it for both fans and non-fans alike. It really helped in making the series much more accessible than it was before, and I really appreciate it for that. Now, if you enjoyed this video, why not press the like button? It's free. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment. Now press that subscribe button while you're at it. It's also free, and it would help push me in the algorithm. Now, other than that, the common question of the day is, what did you think of One Piece live action? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.